Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Boyan Petreski. Today is May 17th, 2022. We'll be getting started on our Futures Now trading session. The disclaimer is running there for your use, your understanding, your protection. This is for educational and instructional purposes only. Let's go ahead and get started with the session for today. So this is the agenda. We're going to look at the current market environment. We're going to execute on new opportunities, and we're going to manage those executed opportunities. We will be trading futures today. So let's go ahead and open up our workspace here, the short-term time frame setups, and we'll be getting started shortly. Looking green across the board today. Interesting to see that. All right, so we have a couple of things here. I'm going to go ahead and open up ESNQYM, the reason why. Zoom in a little bit so I can explain it easier. And sorry about that. Go ahead and zoom in. We have a confirmed climate near sensible condition. And therefore, that is a recipe to open up and start trading. Let's go ahead and get them open. So we said the ES on the 15 and Q on the 15 and the Dow on the 15 as well. All right, let's go ahead and open them up and go from there. Okay, well, that's all opening. Let's go ahead and get that set up properly here. There we are. Okay. All right, first things first, we do know that we have a confirmed climate across the board on all these three. I'm just going to quickly scroll through them to make sure if we have an opportunity that we could just take it right off the bat, so that way we can then explain our approach, explain why we did what we did, and go from there. All right. Okay. There we go. So right now, as we see, it's looking fairly similar across the board here on these three. Obviously, they more or less move along the same way. The first thing that we see here is the following. We see a 15-minute time frame climate down here, down below. That's the 15-minute time frame that we're going to be utilizing for our setup, for our entries, for essentially for our directionality of this trade. The next thing we do see here, we have a 2-minute, 25.84 share bar and 15.97 tick bar. Those are our edge timeframes, right? So this is looking like it will be triggering here. So 68.5, 68.5. All right, there we go. It's in the trade.
Order filled.
And let's go down to 65.25, so 65. All right. All right, so that's the setup there. Let's just go ahead and adjust things as we go. Sorry about that. Okay, now where is our stop? Our stop goes below the UFO. But one thing that I didn't do is I actually need to take a screenshot of this before it runs away from us. So let's go ahead and explain this trade here. The first things first that we're going to look at. Right, we already have our entry. Our entry UFO is already there. Our final target I'm going to adjust right now. which is 40.75. Let me just adjust this here to 40.75. All right, now I want to take a screenshot of this. Save that. So this is 2022 0517 ES 15 setup. Okay, so that's our current setup that we're utilizing right now. Now, why is it and how is it that we got into this setup? The reason why we got into this setup is the following. We have, number one, a confirmed climate, therefore permission to be looking for long trades. Number two, we had multiple UFOs. We still have one here, and we had one here as well. We have multiple UFOs giving us permission to get in, right? And that permission is allowing us to execute on this trade. Now, how is it that we entered right at those UFOs? Why not are we entering here or down here, right? What is the reason where we entered? The reason why is because we combined a couple of things together. Those couple of things are the following. The first thing that we utilize is the fact that there is a 9 exponential moving average, the 9 EMA, that was right at this 40.65.50 area. And as you see, we did get in a little bit more aggressive, a little bit higher. However, the UFO was enveloping that moving average, and therefore we are okay to get in on this trade. So now what we have to do is we just have to wait for this trade to work itself out, and we can do that by one of two ways. First one is the following. It is by taking the candle of entry, which is right here. That's one. And then we'll go 1. This is the first one that we got thereafter. 2, 3. So if within this range here, if within this purple rectangle here, we have a resolution, whether we get stopped out or we get T1, if within this area we have a resolution, then we're good to get this trade running either in the right direction for the long, or if it stops us out, towards the short side, whatever the case is, right? Well, what's going to matter is the following. What's going to matter is whether or not this trade works itself out within this square, in this purple square, this purple rectangle, rather. The majority of the time, it does work itself out, whether it goes to T1 or whether it gets stopped out. Sometimes, though, it really takes its time to do that. And what we want is, we want a resolution, we want a direction as soon as we're in the trade, right? Obviously, that's nonetheless the way that our minds work. Is we get into this trade, we want this to go straight to T1. Sometimes, though, it goes straight to the stop, and that's okay. Right now, what we're waiting for is a T1 or a stop within the purple rectangle. And therefore, we have nothing to do with this trade but wait for it. Now, as soon as you see right here, I'm going to do another pattern. We have 1 2-minute candle, so we have the one that we're currently on. One more here will be the last one that we're going to allow this to go for. And then at the next one, we're going to close this at market. So to just kind of put it in perspective right here. So as soon as this candle prints, close trade at market. Right? So as soon as this candle opens up here, whatever it is, it's going to be just a line, whatever it opens, we're supposed to be closing our trade. If it doesn't get to T1, or obviously if it doesn't stop out. If it gets to T1, then we're going to utilize our further management rules, which is, allows us to trail stop it. But right now, this trade is a bit tight. And the reason why it says it's a little bit tight is actually, let me just reload the data here. I think I accidentally moved that UFO. All right. So this UFO, it's at, as you see right here, it begins at 40.75.50. So 40.75.50 is right here. Okay. So this trade will work, right? It works as far as risk to reward ratio, it's about 1.8 something. One. So let's kind of look this up a little bit more. Okay, so the ES is not playing ball right now. I'm just gonna, in the meantime, just kind of reset these so it's easier to understand and see where we're going with them. Okay, all of them across the board are kind of in the same area. The NQ is driving lower a little bit from where we are. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. Of course, we have our setup, we have our rules. Now we're just waiting for this to work itself out. And then, of course, the market's going to open in a few minutes, so it will definitely move it a little bit faster. Okay, RTY is also popping a near sensible long. I mean, all of these are most of the time going to be moving almost exactly the same, except that sometimes one will lead the rest, and it kind of shifts from day to day, right? So let's open up the Russell as well. Okay, so that's that, and how, okay, so this one we are allowed to close. As you see, it's a very tiny, very small loss, which is okay. I'll take those any day of the week. Alright, save that, so 2022, 0517, ES, 15-minute exit. If you caught it, right at the open, you probably might have lost something, but yeah. Give me just 1 second, folks. I'll be right back with you. back. Sorry about that. But sometimes when emergencies strike, they don't care if we're live on a broadcast. All right, so here we go. We're interestingly enough, if we didn't touch this would have hit T1 and went right back down to below entry. So it's interesting to see. As of right now, we're just kind of waiting. It looks like for the market to open. The NQ is definitely taking a little bit of a slide compared to the rest of them, and not just that, but actually making a new UFO right there, which is interesting to see. Now looking at the Dow, doing a bit of the same, and interestingly enough, same with the Russell. They're all above the moving average, as you see. However, if they're all above the moving average, all confirmed, but making red UFOs, that could be an earlier signal that we could see a potential change in the climate. But as of right now, things are staying intact the way they are. Let's see. Yep, that's still all looking the same. So gold is a near sensible short and recently confirmed. I'm going to go ahead and open it just to have it open in case things shuffle up a little bit when the market opens, or rather when the equities open, because gold's been open for a while now. So let's see what gold might have in store for us here. Okay. So there's a UFO that could potentially work there. 28.7. Interestingly enough, it depends on when and if it happens, right? This could be a potential entry here, 27.6. This could be a potential entry. I'm not saying no, 27.5. The problem is that this is at 28.7, right? So that's all the way at the top here. So if price were to push up right now, it's definitely going to miss these UFOs. So right now, price is right here, right? 1825.4. 1825.4. So if price were to push up here, the moving average is essentially going to be, somewhere like that, but there. So the moving average is most likely going to miss it. Now, if this takes its time for another 10 minutes and it doesn't push up there, then what we could see is the moving average aligning with these two UFOs, and we could take that trade with an entry at 7.6. I'm just going to put this on to be ready for it, but I'll have my finger on the cancel button. And let's go ahead. Okay, so the final target is all the way down at 1822. 1822. Edit that. I have chart trading enabled. Yet I'm unable to change this to 18. Order could not be moved. Isn't that funny? For no reason. No reason provided, just can't be moved. Sorry. 1822. So there we go. So that's what this trade would look like. Now again, I will not be triggering this trade right at this exact moment. I'm going to be waiting for this to work out, work itself out, and hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't get to our entry point in the next 8 minutes or 7 minutes rather, so that we could then execute properly. But as I said, I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm gonna keep this on the cancel trigger if it gets too close, which it is currently getting too close. And I was just simply asking for it to be a little patient, but it looks like it won't be. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this. If it goes around the 7.2, 7.3, range. Okay, didn't quite get there. So far, just kind of a bit of a waiting game. Um, how are the majors doing? Okay, 1847, 18.4. Okay, we could actually take this at market and go a little bit down here on the Russell. So we could do this and that. Let's, because right now it is in a UFO. We got better entry. We just have to move our stop a little bit further down. Let's move it before it stops us up at 2.3, right there. 2.3. Okay. And our T1 needs to be at T1 needs to be at 50 right there. And then T2, let's just move a little bit higher. Where do you have an opposing UFO? It appears we do not. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this screenshot. I just realized the UFO disappeared here, so I'm just gonna have to draw it on. Where did my draw to? There it is. So we're just gonna draw this UFO on here to show that, hey, we did have a UFO right here. Okay. This is 2022, 0517. This is the RTY 50-minute setup. Okay, looking like the trade's working right now. And that's that. Let's just wait for the open. T1 is at 17.3. Alright, and we have a new UFO that formed right where our entry was, right around there, which is good to see. Still a confirmed climate. Now let me just, before gold triggers on us. Okay, this might need to be canceled. Now, if this remains where it is right now, then it's probably going to work out for us. So, but if it doesn't, then we're going to have to cancel this. So 7.6. Indeed. Come on, 2 more minutes, gold. Hold on for 2 more minutes. It's not a lot we're asking, right? 2 more minutes. more minute till the open. Russell is taking a bit of a dive. Gold is still hanging in there, so it looks like the trade setup will work. Now for the Russell, obviously this is, the market's going to open shortly. But one thing that we need to have here, okay, this was the candle of entry. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1. That's our purple rectangle that we have to get our trade filled on. Let's see what the open brings us. Should be quick. Stop or T1. And then we'll go from there. There's the open. Not really decided for now. Anki looking like it goes higher. Gold. Oof. We did not quite make it on there, did we? Okay, the Russell still kind of hanging out there. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on. Just a little bit more. Oh my god, it kissed our T1. Didn't quite fill it. What was the high, I wonder? High was, well, not the rectangle, or the vertical. The high was 17.2 and our T1 was at 17.3. Guys, you can't make this up. Alright, oh crap, close the trade immediately. We have an unconfirmed climate. Should have caught this early. Did not expect it. We have an unconfirmed climate. So this one, we're going to also 2022, 0517, RQY, 15-minute exit. We're going to call this climate change. All right. So that's that for the Russell. The climate is unconfirmed, therefore we cannot trade it. All right, gold. So this thing, I'm going to close the Russell because it's unconfirmed. Just to save us some power here. Okay, the Dow definitely going lower. Things are moving, falling off a cliff on the Dow. Nasdaq kind of more or less the same. Gold took a dive without us on board. ES also took a nosedive. All of them kind of pushing higher now. UFOs. Okay, NQ, wow. And we have liftoff. Yeah. Look at that. Nasdaq just ballistic. ES, pulled up too, but not a whole bunch. What's going on? could take the ES long here on this UFO at 63.25. Right now, though, not finding a whole bunch of opportunities out here. Gold, as we said, took its nosedive without us on board. The Dow pulling back a little bit, not a whole bunch. Nasdaq retesting some of those areas. Okay, we may have something here. 481. That's right here. All right, that's like trying to. The only thing we could do here is go in that market and try to take the stop lower to around the 56. Oh, well, couldn't even move the stop. Not going to count that. Obviously, profitable trade, but when chart trading doesn't work properly, it's hard to, get this stuff done. Interestingly enough, T1, T2, way down. That's during the open. That's what happens. I wouldn't recommend if you don't have a platform that can quickly adjust these T1s, T2s very easily. I wouldn't recommend trading this without that. Below the moving average, already unconfirmed on the Dow. The only one that's kind of hanging out is the Nasdaq, as you see here. 480 is actually the entry point there. That's just not good. 480 even. This could be a good potential for a trade this week since we can kind of more or less manage it. Let's do 517 and keep set up. Alright, looks like it's already in before we even saw it. Looking like it wants to get that T1. Didn't quite make it there. Okay, there we go. We got our T1. T2, I think it's more or less where it is currently at 513.5. Oh, no, it's not. 513.5. I love it when you can't move. Why have chart trading if you're not going to let me move it? 513.5 is the final one. Okay, so looks like it's going to hit it. Come on, you don't even want to. Okay, we're going to move our stop now. If it lets us. Nope, we're stopping. Alright, there's that. NASDAQ T1, T2 within seconds. 2022, 0517, NQ, pick the T1, T2. And interestingly enough, the trade could be taken again because there's a UFO right there and right there. You know, that's just the way sometimes things are. If this was too fast, you know, I understand. I believe me, I'm with you. Sometimes they are. You know, it almost kind of waited for us to like take our screenshot and do all our stuff. But when you're trading this stuff, you know, short term like I am right now, you really need to be quick on the trigger. If you're not, and you need a platform that it's not going to give you, you know, can't move trade. So, yeah, that's unacceptable. Yeah, there's plenty of other platforms there. Please feel free to reach out to me if you want any suggestions or something. I'll be more than glad to get in for it. As of right now, you know, we're showing 4 digits here, but again, there was one NASDAQ trade that I'm not counting because even though it made money, right, I couldn't screenshot it. It's not fair of me to say it. You know, obviously, if it happened on your live account and you took it, then you're probably doing a little happy dance. But I'm not going to count it because that's just not fair. All right. Okay. So far, before we get too much further, let me just go ahead and share my link right here. So tradewithufos.com/Boyan. There's a brand new website that I would love it if you guys, you know, took a look at and share with me. I'll be starting with logging these trades on there so you can see them as we take them. But not as we take them, but after the session. So I already have, I'm already taking my screenshots yet for every one of these. But, you know, right now, and this is what this looks like, the new website. As I said, it's brand new. Please visit it. Let us know what you think. The session notes and trades that I've taken will be open. Will be showing up there. Of course, this is if you're interested in getting, you know, auto climber or auto UFOs for TradingView or MetaTrader. If you want to get top, the broker agnostic or top of TradeStation solution using market data from TradeStation. And then, of course, there is plenty of questions that a lot of people have asked and that we have answered. I see there's 3 pages of it. So, you know, check it out. Let's go from there. All right, now let's kind of refocus. Dow, unconfirmed climate, we can close it. Gold, the trade is still valid actually. Looking at it right now, okay, so it is the 3rd one. It's on the, oh yeah, it is on the 2nd, sorry. I was confusing myself there. So the gold trade is still valid at 1828.2. So we are getting in at 27.6. So this trade is still valid. It's not that it's not. Just a matter of, you know, will it come to us or not, right? Trade is valid. The setup is valid. Everything is valid the way it is. We took a screenshot of this. From what I'm remembering. Okay, that was the RTY NQ. We did actually. Okay, let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this. That this is our setup that we looked at. So 2022, 0517. GC, 15-minute setup. What I did. It's good that we checked, right? So we might get a fill on this right now. It's approaching, so it could trigger. Climate's confirmed. The UFOs are there. We have 2 of them there. The stop's right above at 18, at 1828. 0.9. Okay. Let's just hope it doesn't, take forever to do. Gold. Give us something. Okay. Oh man, I didn't see this. Okay, so the ES is actually in a confirmed down climate. Look at that. The ES is in a confirmed down climate. I didn't notice that. 65. So this UFO would have actually worked. Oh my god. Boy, yep, this UFO would have worked. And look at this beauty right here. I mean, you don't get it better. I'm gonna blow this up so you can see it. You don't get it better than this. How did it? Look at that. You just have a couple of wicks in the UFO. Boom. You probably already would have been at T1 right now. Yep. Okay, it's fine. See, that one kind of hurts because I was paying attention, but I didn't see it. Trade's still valid. It's just it sucks going after it after the fact, But trade is definitely still valid. 65, 75 would be the entry, or 65, 50. Let me see. 65, 75. Yeah, 65, 75. I hate going after a trade that already should have worked in my favor. That's what I told my stop at 70.25. Yep. And then entry is 70.25 minus 65.75. So that's 4.5 points. 65.7, so 61.25 would be T1, 61.25 T1, and T2, let's just say 40, 42. Okay, we may get a chance at it now. 40, 42. Okay. And we're gonna make a screenshot of this too. So 2022, 0517, ES 15-minute setup number 2. Of course, if this doesn't fill before the session ends, I'm just going to go ahead and close it. Oh my god. Gold is just playing with us. NQ taking a nosedive. ES more or less following along. Cannot take the trade on these two UFOs because, as you see, the moving average is above all of this. 63. Okay, so if you wanted to be extra aggressive, you could take it all the way out here, 58 right now. I myself won't be taking it. I'm going to stick with my original entry, even though we have multiple new UFOs that develop there. The reason why is I want the moving average to kind of really align with where I'm going here. This UFO does meet it, but then you would have to take it from 58 with a stop at 70. That's just an excessive amount of risk that I'm not willing to take for a 15-minute trade, a 15-minute setup trade. And I just realized this is more or less, this part of the screen is not as relevant as this part here, the ones above, so we'll be fine. crude has a sensible long that we didn't open. Let's go ahead and open that. $114.75. Okay, so this was the UFO here that we just missed by how many seconds? Right? So I guess it's not fully missed, so we can still go in at 114.78. Problem is, it would have already been, in the green on the green side. The thing is, this UFO seems a little too big. Yeah, it's a bit too big. Our stop, we need to go down all the way to 27. Right there. Still never understood why I can't just move both. But it is what it is. So 114.78 minus 114.27 is 51 cents per contract. The fun thing is that 114.78. The 51 is at 115.29, so you would almost be at T1 right now. And let's say T2 is somewhere up here, or whatever. No UFOs above, so T2 will be canceled out. It's that. Gold, safe to say it's not happening. You can go ahead and cancel it. Okay. All right. Well, safe to say that things are most likely going to remain the way they are right now. Of course, if this fills, the trade is set. We might see it on the reversal end around 10 o'clock Eastern. But as of right now, not a whole bunch happening. Okay, crude might be giving us a retest here, which would be nice of crude to do. Let's see if that will work. looking at the front month contract. See, this is why you always check these things. I thought rollover is in it until a while. Give me a second. I may have been looking at the wrong contract for crude. No, June is still the front. Okay, sorry. I just got a little scare there for a second. July is picking up volume, and this is where I'm looking at this at. July is picking up volume, as you see here. That's July. It's got 73, 72. But the volume's still in the June contract. It's 100K, so 30K more than June. So we're gonna stick with trading June. All right, folks. Well, that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and leave things here. We've had quite a few trades. Some that worked in our favor, some that ended up being small losses, some that we missed by a little bit and ended up working. That's what it is. Some that worked too fast that we couldn't even count them towards our positive end. We literally were just having platform issues that it wasn't letting us move our targets and stops so quick. So it is what it is. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope to catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.